wide channel. The Bells with Hawkins waiting for support. Thomas smashed backwards and stolen. Great work by the Quins. They're still under pressure. We've got to find a way to exit from their 22s. A penalty advantage. That will be the exit. So it's a free play. You're going to keep on knocking with those forwards. They're back for the original penalty for a neck roll or a high tackle. But even though the Quins were busted out wide, it shows the strength in the defence. They recovered and won the ball again on the ground. If you're joining us on the stream, a warm welcome to the Principality Stadium. Croeso cynnes i Stadium Principality. It is the Girls Under 18s Cup Final. And you're listening to myself, Owen Gwynedd, with Gwen and Hopkins in the commentary box. It's currently Cardiff Quins 0, Nelson Bells 0. It's been an even start. Maybe the Bells shading territory, but no clear opportunity for a score just yet. The Bells steal it off the top. Yeah, brilliant work. Ooh. Oh, that's a brilliant carry. Thunderous hit in midfield. I believe it's from Amelia Bailey in that flashy scrum cap.
I mean, this is what Nelson Bells are known for, the physicality around the park.
And they've showed it early. Bailey up on her feet. Some eye-catching headgear on show today. Tia Jones. Correct myself, Chloe Thomas in the orange headgear. And off they go, Lily Hawkins. She's such a live wire. She's through into the open field, surrounded by 3 pink and purple shirts. Well recycled. And Abby Thomas times her support perfectly as the Bells draw first blood. And that's all come from great work from Lily Hawkins. Been such an instrumental part of this team, or this group, for many a year now. She's always been a standout performer, be it in the under 15s, 16s, and now 18s. And it seemed Gwen was that fringe defence, just go to sleep.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Lily did really well there. She broke the line and she also looked for the offload, which is a pretty hard thing to do. So that was very impressive from her. Especially with 3 shirts hunting her down, you could have easily panicked in that situation. Absolutely. I mean, Cardiff Quins also, they're big tacklers as well. So that's really impressive from Lily Hawkins. It's a good effort towards the sticks, and it's over. That's a superb conversion from out wide. Now Nelson Bells add the extras. Quins 0. Nelson Bells 7. Casey Moorcourt with the conversion. And Gwen, and you know some of these Cardiff Quins girls very well. What type of characters out there? Who will be the leaders on the pitch trying to re-galvanise that team? Yeah, you have pretty big characters out there. I mean, Sophie Southgate, there's the 12. She's been in a Cardiff Quins shirt for years now, so she'll be a really big character. You also have a few Hartbury players that will show their talents on the field and you know, lead with their actions. Yeah, a few Hartbury girls out there following your footsteps, you could say. Oh, they're making their own path at Hartbury at the moment. They're all doing great out there, and I think it's great now they get the opportunity to also play grassroots level here as well, because there was a slight break with Cardiff Quins in the under-18s last year, so it's great to see them back, and not only back but thriving and playing in the finals. As I previously mentioned, back in 2022 in the under-15s competition,
Nelson Bells beat the Cardiff Quins, who pretty much would have been a similar crop of players, having developed together. So there is history between not just the two teams, but the actual players on the field as well.
Nelson has always been rivals to Quins, so this is always going to be a big game regardless of where it's played. But now it's in the Principality, you know, everything's on the line.
And also geographically as well, in terms of progression, they'll be competing for spots in kind of regional and international levels. They'll be going literally head to head all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's different pathways now. So you have the college route, but you also have the PDCs and the Welsh International and the age grade level there. So a lot of the girls might be competing for spots for the upcoming Under-18 Six Nations.
Yeah, both teams trying to find the advantage, the superiority in the scrum. Such an important facet of play. Maybe for non-scrummagers, doesn't seem all that important, but if you get it into that referee's head that you're stronger, it can lead to so many decisions coming your way. And it's gone the way of the Bells. An early shove by Cardiff. Casey Morcott running up from full back, thinking she'll be punting for the corner, but it's a free kick only. So you can't go directly for touch. Here come the big guns barreling forward. Quins sensing half a chance to go for the ball, but it's in Hawkins' hand. Jones, again, not for the first time, bringing in Chloe Thomas. Has that gone backwards? No, says the referee. Nudged forward by Isla McMullen, the captain. A disappointing end to the attack.
I think Cardiff Quins have to be careful now. There's a lot of space out wide for Nelson, so if those hands do work, that they do look very dangerous.
Back to the scrum. Quins need to be disciplined. Hold that weight, hold the shove. Can be a number of reasons for an early push. It's there on a plate, on a platform. They go wide early again, bringing in Southgate around the corner. Bell's in a strong position, competing. That's fantastic work by the diminutive figure Lily Hawkins, solid as a rock on the ball. The chance out wide, 3 against 1, into the open field, juggled, bobbled, forward. Again, Georgia Stevens on this occasion losing it, but the Bells threatening out wide, sensing the space and nearly making the break. Barely hear a pin drop out there, apart from the referee's voice. Again, it's wheeled. Firing up Emilia Bailey, trying to put some pressure on the 9. Well worked by the Quins. For the first time, they've found some space, and the speedsters nearly get on the outside. Southgate. Tia Jones trying to counter-ruck and make a nuisance of herself. Slowing the ball down for a split second, allowing the defenders to come back. Penalty awarded. Chance for Megan Jones to punt that one downfield. That's a decent touch finder.
It'll be really interesting now to see where Quins would go up in the line out, because they've had a few steals now. Nelson stealed the ball a few times, so let's see if they change it.
Alicia Taylor, the hooker. The pod in the front. And they shoot up. It doesn't seem straight from up here. The referee down there agrees. And that's maybe the sign of the pressure from the previous lineouts not going to plan. If you're now joining us on the stream, welcome. We've already had one final here at the Principality today. Cardiff Quins, the pink side, because they're the pink and purple team, at the 16th level, beating Morn Stars by 56 points to 17. The under-18s team are hoping to replicate that result, but at the moment they're 7 points behind as Nelson Bells come on the attack once more. And in the open field, Casey Morcott, the chip through the chase. Caviel after her, as is Ariana Collin. Bobbles anyway. Quins need to rush back. 4 or 5 black shirts over the ball. They've won it. They're looking right. Morcott into space. Lexi Jones over for a second score for the Bells. And it all came from Casey Morcott's chip and chase.
Nelson is starting to look really threatening out wide now, and a great chip there.
Identifying space, but it wasn't just a chip, it was 4 black shirts rushing up in numbers. You know, Quins barely had a chance.
Absolutely, a great steal as well. You know, you say the kick's only as good as its chase, and that chase was class.
Yeah, Quins found wanting out wide. And if Gwen mentioned Nelson priding themselves on their physicality and their pack, well, the backline are standing up as well, showing that they've got plenty of skills to pay those bills. We saw Morcott, the creator for that try, nail a kick from the opposite touchline following the first score. And this one is gone up a notch on the difficulty level for the right footer. Chase is on. Drags it wide. The pressure coming from Raya Caviel. And the score then, Quins 0, Nelson Bells 12. Around 25 minutes gone in the contest. Still plenty of time for the Quins to try and get a foothold in this match, but we've barely seen the Cardiff team yet really string an attack in and around the 22 of the Bells.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Quins have to just be careful looking after that ball, making sure we win our set piece to give us the platform to play.
You can hear the us in the sentences. Gwenan Hopkins still very much proud to be a former Cardiff Quins player.
Absolutely. I know how much playing Nelson Bells will mean to the girls as well, especially in such a stadium like this. So I know how they'd be feeling.
Again, Bells identifying space out wide, trying to get out on the edges of that 13 channel. Quins identifying the threat, but short on numbers. The chip comes through. Where's that going to bounce? Infield, awkwardly. Not gathered by Colin, under pressure. And getting some good kicking, tactical kicking by the Bells. But for yourself, Gwenan, where are you at the moment? What's next for you? You've obviously become a full international. So where's your career at the moment? Because there's kind of a lot of rugby going to be going on over the next few weeks and months for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So our first game with Gwalior Lightning in the Celtic Challenge this year is against Brython. So another big rivalry is next Saturday up in Ystrad Mynach, and we're playing on the 21st and the 28th. So that's the next big thing for me personally, and also hopefully the Six Nations and selection with Wales moving forward.
We all wish you all the best in those games, and especially with international selection. When do you get to know?
I'm not sure. Probably after Celtic. That's the next thing for me.
We'll keep an eye on the phone. But here come Bells again, penetrating in those wide channels, swallowing up the meters. Quins on the back foot. The big runners come bursting on. Tia Jones still on her feet, 2 meters short. Bells looking for a third. Lexi Jones going in to help. Lack of a scrum half. Quins need to slow this ball down. Erin Davis wearing 2, leaves it for Lily Hawkins. Bailey battering her way forward. Oh, the short ball, all too easy. Hawkins to Morcott. 9 and 15 again. Instrumental, key to this Bells team. And they dot down for a third.
That partnership is just looking very threatening at the moment. I think that's a very classic Nelson try. They use their forwards, make those great line speeds, and now a great run from the number 12 there.
Casey Morcott with a try. And she has to pick herself up, place the tee down. And it's fair to say it's by far the easiest attempt she'll have so far today. Both are the conversion attempts from way out wide. Isla McMahon, the captain, having a quick word with the referee. Morcott, no nonsense, that's over, straight through the posts. And it's starting to look like a difficult first half for the Quins. Scoreless. Nelson Bells 19. What would the coaches be saying out there just to try and maybe change things? I don't know. How do you try and get a foothold against a team, a strong Bells team who seems to be dominating most areas at the moment?
Absolutely, I think they have a lot of momentum at the moment, so it's just trying to regain that momentum, making those big hits and dominate in that area.
Yeah, they say, don't they, a good tackle is sometimes worth a try. And the Quins need something to spark their final into life. So it seems like maybe a roll. Yeah, just tipping the player over in the ruck for the penalty. One of those crocodile rolls, maybe.
I mean, those are kind of the momentum changes we need now. So we might see Cardiff Quins asking for another scrum and really showing off their set piece.
Yeah, with the line out not quite functioning. The option maybe of going to the line was taken from them. So it's going to be the scrum, which has performed strongly enough to give confidence for a platform to launch an attack. A first real attack in and around the 22 of Nelson Bells. It's there by the feet of Boyd. Southgate on the run around. Doesn't get the ball out. McMullen shepherds her opposite number well. And all of a sudden, Quinn seemingly losing a bit of shape. Turning to the forwards. Having to work hard for that ball. Quinn releasing the back row. All a bit slower in comparison to the Bells. They work so hard at that breakdown. Under pressure, Megan Jones wisely cuts back inside herself. That's Georgia Iona. Roswen James over the gain line into the 22. Slowly but surely they're winning a metre or two at a time. Jones again having to cut back inside. The rush defence pressure, offside, illegal. So there will be a penalty. Are they going to try and up the tempo?
Nelson are doing really well to kill our game at the moment. Sorry, Cardiff Quins' game at the moment.
Don't worry, we'll forgive you.
They're doing really well to kill our game, so I think they might be going for a line out. or are they picking and going?
Yeah, well, they've got to go back to the mark. I think that's the message for the referee. They refused the scrum on this occasion, so Rhoswen James, she's going to go again. And in the moment...
What a great offload.
Strangely, Nelson Bell standing off, fear maybe for the first time in their eyes. As Rhoswen James comes battling down the line. Now this is the chance for Quins to get something on the board. Bell's attacking the breakdown, but they've given away the penalty. Rhoswen James back on her feet. Knocked on, unfortunately, for the Quins. But James there, she was given 10, 15, 20 metres of running space. Nobody in the black shirt wanting to go up and meet the loose head. Alicia Taylor goes, tries to catch the defence, napping, shunted backwards.
Big hit there. And
a great counter-attack as well by Amelia Bailey. And the Bells are away. Chipped downfield again by Morcott. And she's there to gather and regain possession. Erin Davis, the hooker, first up in support. Again, probing the dark side, Abby Thomas. We've already found her on the scoreboard. Bells again, they're swallowing up the territory. Finding crossing and gain line easier than the Quins are. Tia Jones, such an important cog in the tight carrying. Perryman. Now they try to put a bit of width on the ball. Quick hands by McMullen. There is space, well scrambled across by Eden Scoos. Still there for the Bells, however. Good hands, Morcott. Now there's an opportunity, black shirts lined up. Thomas, the offload again, oh, it's gone forward. If that had stuck to hand, it would have been a fourth try. And Nelson Bells showing all their skills to break all the way from their own 5 metre line to get to the opposite 5 metre.
That phase play there was outstanding. I mean, the speed of ball, Cardiff are really struggling to keep up with it. That was really impressive.
Well, those phases, maybe it would have deserved the finish. Such skill, such quality involved. And the Quins finding it difficult to keep pace with the Bells. And that was the opportunity going on for the Quins to get a score. Something to change the momentum on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they looked really threatening for a minute there. It's a shame that they couldn't just look after that ball. I think ball retention for the Quins at the moment is killing us a little bit.
We're within the last 5 minutes of this first half. A half dominated by Nelson Bells. Tries coming to Lily Hawkins, Lexi Jones and Casey Morcott for the Bells. And I believe it would have been Darcy George maybe nearly crossing for fourth. But unfortunately, a slight fumble forward. A reprieve for the Quins. Just a note for the Bells, 3 players have been involved with the 18s international setup. You maybe don't have to guess too hard which players. Tia Jones, Lily Hawkins and Isla McMullen. I'm sure a couple of us will have their hand up to join that list as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fullback, Morcott, she's been outstanding this game, playing really well and looking to play with others. I think also, I think like Coleg went there, they have 14 players at Nelson Bells.
It's essentially the same team in a sense for continuity and combinations. Knowing each other is such a vital part, isn't it? Where compared to the Quins, there's so many players going from different clubs. You've got to create those new combinations.
Absolutely. I mean, they train not only weekly but daily together. So you can clearly see that on the pitch.
Yeah, 14 Coleg Gwent players, 4 Cymoedd and 1 Merthyr in the Bells team. Wherefore, as I previously mentioned for the Quins, a real scatter of schools and clubs and colleges. 3 Cymoedd, 3 Glantaf, 5 Harbury, 2 Risca, 1 from St Richard Gwyn, 3 Bryn Celenog, 1 from Whitchurch, and 1 from Coleg Gwent as well. It's Grace Boyd, the vice-captain number 8 at Coleg Gwent. Depending how the result goes today, there'll be a funny old day on Monday. Yeah, just waiting for an injury on field before we resume. Everybody back on their feet, so we're nearly ready to go. Megan Jones tries to find a bit of territory, some breathing space between the ball and the line. But Quins need to get this set piece, this line out functioning in order. It'll be a long old day if they keep on losing the ball. Rossman James doing a lace-up quickly. It goes to the middle, flicked backwards untidily, but at least the Quins do have possession. Again, 4 or 5 black shirts running up together, but like one black wall surrounding the ball. Great intensity by the defence, allowing Erin Davis a chance to shoot in there to steal the ball, and she's done it. And if this goes left by Hawkins, well, she's gone right. The chip through, nobody at home. It's the chase. Who's going to get there first? Just about Ariana Collin, slightly hesitantly. So it's going to be a dropout. Jones with the drop, slightly miscued, providing Tia Jones with an easy chance to run it back. Held short again. Numbers to the left, Quins surrounding the ball like a blanket. Unfortunately, they win the ball on the floor, otherwise it could have easily been a 4th try for the Bells.
That was such a dominant carry there by the number 8, Tia Jones. She's another one, Coleg Gwent, and she's looking really, really explosive in her carries.
Yeah, unfortunately for Megan Jones, just missed kicking it. Better contact with the ball on this occasion. Quins back in a similar position to where they were from the previous line out. Ball was won, but they were under pressure. And Nelson Bell's defence proving difficult to unlock. Once more similar the outcome. Deflected backwards, untidily. Some great leg drive in there, held up. Need to get to the floor. She does so. But once more, the Bells, fantastic work by Sadie Jones on the deck to steal it. Bailey, not for the first time we've named the open side flanker in the loose. Lexi Jones, McMillan fires the ball out. Brilliant handling. Stevens. They're finding the space, causing all sorts of problems. Lovely flat pass to Tia Jones. What an offload. It's going to be Kaylee Perryman. And it is a 4th. That flat pass from Lily Hawkins was absolutely fantastic. And Tia Jones is offloading there as well, unlocking the door. It's a 4th try to a rampant Nelson Bells.
I think it's safe to say Nelson Bells definitely found their rhythm in this game. They've definitely identified where those areas where they can really attack, and they're exploiting them brilliantly.
They are indeed. They have been head and shoulders the better team in this opening half. They've been threatening on every occasion with ball in hand, and have been able to smother any Quins threat. You could say maybe they've got one hand on the trophy already, but it isn't over until the final whistle, of course. The conversion by Morcott is good. Quins 0, Nelson Bells 26. The Quins will need to start looking to their experienced players, their talented players, plenty of them out there. To the try scorer, I'll say the second rower, the partner to the try scorer, Seddon Thomas, carries the ball backwards. Quins have won it, they need some help. Good counter-attacking, identifying the pause in the Quins attack. The hesitant Quins attack.
A lot of scrums in the first half. This is going to show how heavy the front row's legs are going to be, and interesting to see how both teams cope in the second half.
We saw in the 16s final, the Quins having great depth in their team. The fresh legs from the bench was able to extend that lead they did have on the scoreboard. I'm sure the Quins will be hoping they'll have some quality to come off the bench later on in the game as well, to help replenish the tired frontal rows that have had to work ever so hard.
Absolutely. I think one of them is Crystal James. She's been a part of the under-18s pathway, a part of PDC, and she's a really threatening player to look out for.
And from what I'm hearing here, Quins are plotting several half-time changes. The coaching team ready to roll the dice in the second half. Good counter-attacking again by Nelson Bells. Lily Hawkins sweeping up the ball. Spits out to the far side. And Tia Jones, she's such a handful. I'm not sure what the penalty's for. I missed it for a second, and it could be a card. Tia Jones, yellow carded. Was it for a leading elbow, leading arm, potentially so, slightly high? Dangerous play.
I mean, I think Cardiff Quins will definitely be taking a big deep breath in now that she's off the field for a bit, because she has been very dangerous for Nelson Bells. Yeah,
she's been a wrecking ball. Always sacking in players, defenders, making yards. And when you have a player of Tia Jones's quality able to give you that front foot ball, it makes everything else so much easier for the likes of Lily Hawkins and Lexi Jones. Quins nursing a bump on the field for the moment, with half-time approaching. We're within the last 30 seconds or so. A change will be made earlier than the Quins coaching staff would have liked. It seems to be Mabley Griffiths leaving the field, unfortunately. Or was it Libby Tresize?
with Gwen Evans.
Good name.
Coming onto the field. Evans, yes.
Yeah, Gwen.
Just joking, just joking. Here come the Quins. Now then, change made. Can Gwen and Evans change the fortunes of the Quins? It's Kira Lee-Jones sucking in a couple of would-be tacklers. But again, fantastic words. Seren Thomas with a steal. Forward pass, bringing the attack to an end, unfortunately for the Nelson Bells. But then again, they will be happy enough. The black and whites dominating the first half. Y Bells yn rheoli'r hanner cynta yn erbyn Quins Caerdydd. 4 tries. 4 tries in all scored, coming to Lily Hawkins, Lexi Jones, Kirsty Morcott and Callie Perryman. Hanner cynta, anodd iawn i'r dîm di Gwenan y Quins yn ildio 4 cais. A mi fydd yn ail hanner anodd tu hwnt i drio dod yn ôl i fewn i'r gêm yma.
Bendant, mae Nelson wedi bod yn dominydd i'r gêm yma ar hyn o bryd, ond dwi'n hyderus fydd y Quins yn gallu dalu tir nhw. Maen nhw wedi profi o'r blaen yn ffeinals fel bod nhw'n gallu dod yn ôl o lot o geisiau, felly lot o hyder ynddyn nhw. I mean, mae Owen, eu coach nhw, fe oedd yn hyfforddi fi back in the day. Fi'n gwybod bod e'n eitha calm a collected, so fi'n credu fydd y merched yn gallu gweld hwnna, cael y feedback gan y fe, a wedyn gobeithio chwarae gêm chydig bach yn well.
Yeah, Cardiff Quins hoping for better in the second half as they take a bit of water on, and we'll take a break as well. Cardiff Quins 0, Nelson Bells 26 at the half. You should do it as in for pre-match, you mean? As in to record, is that what you mean? Fine, I'll do the teams now then, just in case you want to stitch it on at the top or just use it here. Cool. To go through the starting lineups for you once again. Cardiff Quins front row, including Rhoswen James, Alicia Taylor, Kira Lee-Jones. Second row, Mably Griffiths and Grace Daly. The back rowers include Libby Tresize and captain Rebecca Coggins on the open side flank, with vice captain Grace Boyd, the number 8. Halfbacks, Poppy Kegwin, Megan Jones. Centres, Sophie Southgate, Eden Skews, and the back 3 include Ellery Williams, Raya Caviel and Ariana Collin. And the replacements, Crystal James, Freya Tanai, Maddie Welperton, Angharad Matthews Thomas, Gwenan Evans, Georgia Iono, Caitlin Owen, Sienna McCormack and Grace Hersia Kempster. And for the Nelson Bells, front row, Darcy George, Erin Davis, Chloe Thomas, Seren Thomas and Callie Perryman in the boiler room. Sadie Jones, Amelia Bailey, Tia Jones, the loose 3. Lily Hawkins, Lexi Jones, 9 and 10. Captain Isla McMullen wearing 12, Georgia Stevens 13. On the wings, Mally Davis, Abby Thomas, and at full back, Casey Morcott. And the replacements, Izzy Perry, Lucy Grenfell, Ollie Morgan, Millie James, and Seren Wren Howell. The second half nearly upon us here at the Principality Stadium. Yr ail hanner bron wedi cyrraedd yma yn Stadiwm Principality yn rownd derfynol cwpan dan ddeunaw y merched. Quins dim, Nelson Bells 6 ar 20 ar yr egwyl.
The under-18s Girls Cup final. Second half underway. Cardiff Quins 0, Nelson Bells 26. Gwen and Hopkins, former Cardiff Quins player, in the commentary booth with myself, Owain Gwynedd. And it's going to be a second half the Quins will need to start quickly and try and get on the scoreboard if they are going to put Nelson Bells under any sort of pressure. Well charged down, where's that going to bounce? Into a Quins hand. Now that's something they can try and grab onto to spark the team into life. Again, it's a battle at the breakdown. Quins have made 6 or 7 changes at the break. We'll try and bring them to you. Rebecca Coggins, the captain. Going through the phases. Sienna McCormack onto the field. Sophie Southgate still there. She was probably one of the main weapons for the Quins in the first half.
This is looking much better for Quins. The ball retention is so much better, and they're actually getting gain line. You see those offloads, and this is more like the Quins we know.
Caitlin Owen in the blue head cap. Now on that scrum half. Again, second touch of the ball. Gets a penalty as well for a high tackle.
We're starting to see a few penalties now from Nelson, so they still have to be very careful. They've got 1 yellow card at the moment, so this might be a really good opportunity for Cardiff Quins to come back into the game.
Tia Jones already off the field for a yellow card towards the end of that first half for some dangerous play. And Quins will need to capitalise. And they've gone for a shortened line out. 5 girls in there. Some runners in midfield, I'm sure. It goes to the front again, misfired. And hacked downfield. It's going to end up in the hands of Raya Cavill. She does well. Beats the first tackler, makes some meters after contact, but she needs some help. Help is there. Makes it so much better by the Quins, already able to ride a few tackles. Georgia Iono, another one that's onto the field.
She's coming back from injury and she's looking great dominantly. You know, she's a part of the under-18 squad last year as well, so she's going to be hoping to make it back into it.
Southgate, Sophie Southgate. Brashes the first tackle aside. Moorcourt brings her down. Stepping back in, Ariana Collin. Needs to find the ground. Sharp whistle from the referee. Amina Bailey had stripped the ball. She's been impressive in the first half, but no clear release. And Colin is paying the price there as well. He's taking a shot to the ribs. Winded slightly. Originally, he seemed to be held up well, that the Bells had smothered the attack. And Nia may have touched the ground. But that's so much better by the Quins.
Yeah, absolutely. They look a lot more dominant this time round, but, you know, Nelson aren't making it easy at all. And they've got 14 on the field, so Quins really need to start to capitalise and try and score some points to get back into the game second half.
Yeah, first score would be very valuable. Unfortunately, we see Ariana Collin leaving the field. There will be a replacement coming on shortly. The Quins already shuffled the pack.
It's a bit like a bomb squad coming on with 7 replacements. They've definitely made an impact.
They have, and that's what you ask for from the replacements. They come on and make an impact. You know, it's a 23 girl squad, and they all have a role to play. Pressure come on in the scrum by the Bells. It's still there for the Quins. And the pressure, losing ground. Iono does well. The replacement scrum half is there. She nearly finds a gap. This is better by the Quins. Not only when they're under pressure, they can recycle the ball and get some continuity. Forwards come again. Gone forward. Or did the referee for a split second take his eye off the play? Penalty given. And Quins unable to turn pressure into points as Tia Jones gets ready to come back onto the field.
Nelson Bells did really well there, considering they're down a defender as well and defending their goal line, so they did very well then.
Well, they missed touch, however. Quins able to come again. Iono, such a strong player. Needing 3 to push her into touch.
Let's see how much pressure now Quins can put on Nelson.
Yeah, they'd like to think they'd try and put a pod or even 2 up to put pressure on the Bells team. And they've won it at the front. Bells, for once, struggling. What's going on? The penalty. No, sharp blast the whistle made me think it was a penalty, but it's going to be a scrum for the Bells. 2 knock-ons in there.
I think soon we'll see how much these scrums are going to affect tired bodies out there now with so many scrums.
Yeah, Quins have made changes, of course. We can see, is it Crystal James or Maddie Welperton onto the field. Bells haven't rung the changes yet. They've kept faith to the majority of the players who started the game. The whole Quins bench confirmed to be on the field. All getting a full half, almost to make an impression. The refereeing team having a quick conversation. All seems to be in order. It's going to be a Nelson Bells put in their own 22. Bells in the black and white. Lily Hawkins preparing to feed. Quins attacking the scrum and do get a front foot, but it's hacked away by Hawkins. She chases her own kick, stepped away by Cavill. Now Cardiff having camped down here. Penalty again given away on the floor by the black and whites.
We nearly just saw a second kick chase and jackal there from Nelson, and that's definitely a strong point for them.
Cardiff have owned this second half, but they can't find a way to the try line. Megan Jones to put them 15 or 20 metres closer. And one thing that has changed in comparison to the first period, Cardiff have been able to sustain a stint of pressure on the Bells.
We see 2 forwards in the back line, George Iona being one of them, an explosive player, so we'll see if she's lining up next to the number 8, Tia Jones. So that's going to be a really big
collision.
Yeah.
A big collision on the way, but they've got to win that line-up first. And not for the first time. You could say the 3rd, 4th or 5th time they've lost it. Not straight. It'll be a scrum. And again, Quins will attempt to attack this set piece, put as much pressure on Hawkins as possible. It seems like Amelia Bailey has moved to the 8 position, packing down at 8. She'll need to be on high alert to get the ball out if pressure does come on. Hawkins, Jones on the run around. The pass by McMullen doesn't go to hand, so Jones under all sorts of pressure. Back to Morcott, the clean and kick, charge down, it's a try! And finally, by hook or by crook, the Quins have scored, and it looks like it's going to be given to Sienna McCormack.
That's exactly what you want to see from the bench as well, so that's a really positive for Cardiff Quins. Let's hope now they can turn that into momentum and continue scoring points to get back into the game.
Yeah, fortunately maybe, from the charge down, Quins are on the scoreboard. The conversion as well, in front of the posts. Megan Jones looking to add the extras. So that's the first try for the Quins. Bells have 4. So they're a quarter of the way to closing the gap. And that's missed. Pushed by the right hand upright. Cardiff Quins 5, Nelson Bells 26. Casey Morcott to restart. Wobbles it downfield. She drops deep, waiting for the reply kick, but Quins run using the replacement Iono, and it's lost in contact. And Quins have numbers on the right. A fractured defence. Quins defence trying to recover. Shooting off the line, McCormack trying to close the space, but Morcott drifts out wide. Bells showing how good they are with ball in hand. Tia Jones, if you can't go around them, we'll go through you. Morcott up from full back.
A great read there.
Excuse me, say it was Lexi Jones with the pass, sorry. Similar hairstyles. A chip through by Lily Hawkins. Hawkins with a chase. Oh, the gather and the score. Quality work from the scrum half. Lily Hawkins, she opened the scoring in the first half for the Bells, and she's got the first score in the second half for her team. And great individual work by the number 9.
She's been so impressive in the last 40 minutes. She's really been impressive. I mean, her game understanding and the way she links up with people has been absolutely outstanding.
And the Quins, well, that's taken the wind out of their sails. The try only a minute or two ago would have been a boost to their hopes and confidence. But Lily Hawkins, uncompromising. Shutting the door flat in their face once again. Morcott with the conversion attempt. Takes the time. And rightly so.
Morcott's another one that's been all over the place in today's game. She's also been linking up really well with Lily Hawkins.
Oh, just gone forward off the boot. maybe slightly offside. Quins 5, Nelson Bell's 33. Now then, the Quins, they come again.
A big carry there from Georgia.
Yeah, she's been impressive since coming on. Georgia Iono. Coggins. Penalty advantage. Gwennan Evans, the chip over. The Quins trying to vary the attack. Where's this going to bounce? Unkindly from a Quins perspective. It could have gone anywhere. McCormack was chasing. We couldn't quite get on the end of it. Penalty for offside, and the shouts from onlookers and parents maybe every time. You can hear it in every rugby club around Wales.
Absolutely. I mean, Nelson and Quins together as well, you can definitely hear them. That the families are always really loud.
And here come the Quins. Maddie Welpton. Jones crying for the ball. Drives into the attack, into the defence. Iono shrugs off Lexi Jones. Here we are. Here's another chance. Riding the tackle, Georgia, or Grace Boyd. The feint. That's another good tackle from Millie Hawkins. She's just not a magician in attack. She's got some feistiness in her play as well in defence. And it's gone forward, unfortunately, for the Quins. And if we're looking for points of difference in the teams, the Bells have been so clinical when they've got in sight of the try line. With Quins, especially in the second period, they've lost the ball on the floor on a couple of occasions. The Bells will be looking for a clean exit. The Quins will be looking to box the Bells in. That's a good shove by that purple pack. Morcott sends it downfield as well. Good chase as well by Abby Thomas. Five called for the line out. Didn't work on the last occasion with the likes of Iono in midfield. Grace Boyd with the red scrum cap with the throw. Lost at the front. Bounces backwards. Back into a Bell's hand. Iono will be frustrated, I'm sure. Standing in midfield waiting for a ball to run onto.
I mean, set piece is so important, especially with momentum in the game, and Georgia would definitely bring that momentum, so I'd imagine she'd be pretty frustrated.
It's lost on the floor. This time by the black and whites. Another opportunity for the Quins to try and build something from set piece.
This might be a really good opportunity for the number 8 to pick, come down blind. It'll be a 2v1 if we utilise it correctly. So this might be a really big threat, especially if it's Iono in the 21 shirt there in the back of the scrum.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be licking her lips at the prospect. Nelson Bell's back row will be on high alert. Sadie Jones on this blindside flank. Amelia Bailey packing down at 8. It turns the other way. Free kick goes the way of the Bells.
It just goes back to the set piece, isn't it? You know, you have to have that clean, clinical line out and scrum to be able to create momentum.
We need a platform to work off, and Quins haven't had that in this under-18s girls final. Erin Davis. Was it Aina McMillan having a talking to? McMillan on the way to the sin bin. Another. Leading with a dangerous arm. So Bell's down to 14 once more. Quins looking to get a second score. They'll have to do it from the halfway line. Gone backwards in accuracy. Owen. Some space out on the left, but slightly lateral until McCormack puts her foot down to go forward. This Bell's defence proving stubborn. And I wonder how frustrated the referee will go. 2 yellow cards for essentially foul play, but there have been a number of penalties as well on top of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a really good opportunity for Quins to take this now and hopefully gain some momentum and score some points. I mean, the ref is definitely going to be more on their side.
Missed touch. Hawkins replies with a big up and under. And again, she's the first up in defence. Iono. She's proven to be a handful. But she needs her teammates to warm those hands and fingers up. Ball slips forward. And with every error, the clock ticks away. Trying to see who's on the far touchline down injured. Is it, yeah, Tia Jones. The wrecking ball, Tia Jones. Bells won't want to lose her. Quick ice pack on the knee. Maybe enough. So it can be a short break as Tia Jones gets a little bit of treatment. And there will be a replacement. Tia Jones will be coming off, and Carrie Perryman, a scorer in the first half. The scorer of the 4th try will be coming back onto the field.
This might be a really good opportunity for Cardiff Quins to get some feedback from the coaches and hopefully get some valuable feedback so they can score some points.
Yeah, what do you think the messages will be?
I think it's just to focus on the set piece. Let's get that right first before getting excited about the other things, about the dominance around the park. So it's just kind of making sure that our set piece will give us that platform. And I think from Nelson's point, I think it's just kind of stay cool, stay collected, look at the scoreboard, let's calm down and let's stop these penalties because we need the ref on their side.
Play set to continue. Tia Jones seems to be okay, although replaced. Lily Hawkins with the ball, and she's been very impressive. I know maybe too early at the moment, Gwen, to be talking player of the match contenders, but Lily Hawkins will be up there in the conversation later on.
I mean, absolutely. She's been outstanding, and I think it's the fact that she is an outstanding player individually, like we've seen, but also the way she links up with players has also, highlighted how much of a good player she is.
A scrum to Nelson Bells. Hawkins to feed. Bailey once again packing down in the 8th position, although wearing 7. Tia Jones, the traditional 8, off the field. That's a good pass, bringing the runners on to the ball. Well read by Sienna McCormack, the sole scorer for the Quins. Flashing towards Chloe Thomas. And now they're in some space. Callie Perryman rested. Galloping forward. Iono trying to cause some pressure in defence. Maybe offside. And this is where the Bells have been so destructive, incisive. How quickly they've reached the 22. Bailey looking to put some width on the ball. Well read by McCormack. Even though she didn't stick the tackle, she brought the attack to a stop. There's space in the backfield if the kick would have come. Abby Thomas now recovered into the full-back position to give Morcott a chance to come back to cover her role. And again, Iono, barnstorming run. We could argue there's offside in midfield. Play goes on. Bells. Thomas weaving away across field. Pops it up inside, gone forward. Some frustration coming in for the Quins there. A wayward kick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Nelson also, they're really dangerous in counter-attack. We just need to make sure that we're kicking in the right areas and closing, chasing our kick as well. But again, another Nelson penalty and giving back another opportunity for Cardiff Quins.
It's been a game for the purists in some respects. Plenty of scrums to get involved with. Caitlin Owen feeds uncontested scrums at the moment. Fired out. Overrun by Scoos. So there's a chip. Southgate to chase. Nearly pops up into her hand. It's gone backwards. Bells have it. Play goes on. Hawkins. Charged down. The Bells recover well. They work so hard at the breakdown. Somehow or other, the commentator's curse. It's turned over. And turned over again.
Both teams have been really good in that counter-attack and in that rucking area. So, they're still going on and it's really impressive. Another scrum. I think the front row would be not happy at the moment.
There's some sore shoulders and legs in the morning. Plenty of scrum practice. Quins. Unlikely they'll be able to salvage anything from the game, but they'll hopefully, I'm sure, hope to make another impression on the scoreboard. Iono. If you can turn to somebody to make some yards, it's the number 8 bursting through. Oh, there's going to be no stopping. Georgia, Iono. Barnstorming run, breaks free, and then there was no stopping the second half replacement. And the Quins have made an impression, a second impression on the scoreboard.
That is exactly what you want from your number 8 from the base of the scrum. I'm taking notes here, by the way.
Powerful run. And she's been impressive, hasn't she, since coming onto the park?
Absolutely. I think she's as well coming back from injury as well, so it makes it even more impressive.
Sienna McCormack lining up the conversion. The left peg does the business. Cardiff Quins up to 12. Nelson Bells 33. Thanks to a second try coming from the replacement, number 8, Georgia Iono. Replacements coming onto the field for Nelson Bells. Also the yellow card. Back on to the field. Isla McMullen, the captain. Oh, Quins letting that one bounce. Gwennan Evans recovers. Gets back near the 22-metre line. Oh, under all sorts of pressure. Was there an offside in there? Yes, says the referee. Or no, he says the referee. Knocked forward in the intercept by McCormack. That breakdown has proven to be problematic for the Quins, just not getting that clean possession often enough.
It goes back to just being clinical, isn't it? Those type of, from a receiving kickoff, you need to catch that first ball. That bounce, you never know where it's going to go.
Early engagement from the Quins. Referee happy to let that one slide. The unit does well under pressure. Hawkins chasing, harrying. Kick downfield, finds grass and finds touch. Quins maybe would have liked that one to stay on field. Nevertheless, they find some breathing space and work upfield. Clean ball off the top. Flying down the 10 channel, Emilia Bailey. Hawkins. Bell's trying to work some steam up here. Again, good handling, forwards and backs combined. Darcy George weaving, stepping. Hawkins looking right, looking left. Chloe Thomas. Erin Davis, the hooker in midfield, provides a platform, but well still stolen by Sophie Southgate. Now Cardiff, Quins, can they turn attack or defence into attack? One more pass into space. Now then, some clean grass. Is there a chip? Back inside, no. Screws keeps it alive. Cardiff downfield, needs support. Good, cleared out by Iono. You could argue she's been impressive and would have been in discussion for the Player of the Match award if she'd been all on for the whole 70. But turned over. Bells themselves looking to turn defence into attack. And this time the Quins giving away a penalty. Was that knocked down deliberately?
Nelson's defence have been really impressive today, especially in the ruck area. They've been making it impossible to get speed on the ball for Quins.
But when you think about the tries that they've conceded, one's from a charge down, and the other's come from an unbelievable run from Iono.
Absolutely, yeah.
A big hit in the collision there. Grace Boyd getting little change for her efforts. Another loud blast of the whistle. Quins not wasting any more time, wanting to play, wanting to go. Needs to be quicker with moving that ball off the floor. Good offloading, Iono again, nearly getting into a bit of space. Releases the ball quickly. Trying to have a second bite of the cherry. Coggins. Again, Bell's fierce in defence. Lateral, they need to move this forward, need to get some go forward, but it's lost by Raya Caviel, unfortunately, as they finally worked it into a channel with some space ahead. The ball goes loose.
Starting to see some tired bodies now, walking to the scrum.
Yeah, even the Bells are starting to show a few signs of fatigue. Some bruised bodies, big collisions. It's Chloe Thomas out of our shot at the moment. Just having her knee tested. She's back on her feet, jogging over. And what's her reward? Scrum. I think I heard the referee say only a couple of minutes left. Victory seemingly inevitable for the Bells. Quins, they have 2 scores to their name. It's always nice, even if you're on the losing side, to add another. But they have to win the ball back from the Bells first. Hawkins feeds. Quins attack. Nothing back from the effort. McMullen, the captain, dragging pink shirts with her. McCormack, wearing 23. She's been impressive since coming on. Blitzing up in defence, shutting down an opportunity. Forwards, out wide. Davis, the hooker, feeds it out. And unceremoniously, Ollie Morgan bundled into touch. Pass was forward, so there's an option of a line out or scrum. What's the option, or what's the decision?
It looks to be a line out, which is fair enough considering the amount of scrums that's been. But
Not another one, sir, please.
Yeah, but considering the Quins line-outs haven't been really going to plan.
Yeah, they're losing the race. A good palm in there. Somehow or other, it's come back on the side of the Quins. Referee to duck out of the way. Iono, a looping pass over, knowing there's a few pink shirts out wide if they can work it. Bells read the situation, come flying up. Boyd dragged down again by Hawkins. She's like an additional back rower. You know, Mike Phillips was known as a fourth back rower back in the day, but he was the same size as the back rower, where Hawkins, she's half the size. And Bells have it on their own halfway line. All gone a bit messy, so it'll be a scrum to the Quins. Or do you want to announce it? Right then, as a scrum is set to be reset, let's have a chat going on who's going to be your player of the match. Let's have a word about the Quins quickly. A few standouts from the Quins.
I think Georgia's come on and she's really made an impact. I mean, from her try, obviously she's an explosive player and I think is definitely a contender.
Nelson Bells, obviously, they'll be leading the race and leading the conversation just for the fact they're ahead on the scoreboard.
I mean, Tia Jones, her explosiveness, similar to Georgia, has been really impressive. Lily Hawkins is another one. I mean, more cotters again.
More cotters again, yeah. We'll get a decision because the final whistle has just been blown. Nelson Bells dominated the first half. 4 tries, a 26-point lead at the interval. Quins did threaten from time, but really the Bells were head and shoulders the better side on the evening. The final score in the under-18s Cup final, Cardiff Quins 12, Nelson Bells 33. And Gwenan, who is the player of the match?
I think it's only one person that's standing out. It's Lily Hawkins. She's been exceptional today, both individually and linking up with Morcott and Tia and a lot of the girls on the Nelson Bells team. So I would go with Lily Hawkins.
Yeah, I'd agree with you as well. 2 tries for Lily Hawkins. The first score in the first half and scored again in the second half for the Bells. And she was impressive just as much in defence as she was in attack. And if my memory proves me right, it isn't the first time she's been awarded a Player of the Match award at the Principality. My gut feeling would like to say she won it back in 2022 as well in the under-15s final. But I'm sure somebody will inevitably prove me wrong. But it shows again. And great to see the depth in women's rugby developing and the next crop coming through to push you and your peers to keep that place in the red jersey.
I mean, absolutely. You look at 2 extremely powerful number 8s there and, you know, they managed the game, they led the game as well. So absolutely, that's really exciting. It's also really exciting for the Welsh pathway, the 18s and the 20s and the girls coming up. I mean, Lily Hawkins is another one. She was in the under 18s and would be looking again to play in that. So there's a lot of girls on both sides are really pushing for age grade shirts, but also international shirts.
Yeah, and both these teams in the East. And it's not just a battle for the trophy, but it's a lot of personal competitions out there. And they've laid down the challenge for the West teams to try and improve to catch up with them for next season. I'm sure a challenge that will be accepted gratefully and gladly. Carol Thomas, who commentated on the first game where Cardiff Quins were victorious in the under-16s final against Morn Stars, a team from Anglesey. Unfortunately this time just falling just short to a good, strong Nelson Bells team. And as I previously mentioned, this Bells team contained 7 players who won the 16s competition last year, stepping up an age grade. Talent aplenty in the hub. And they'll be going back to those teams now. I imagine there'll be more games for the hubs to play. Kind of how would your season when you play for them pan out? How many games would you play for the hub?
So regionals would be the next step for them. So with their Cardiff Ospreys, RGC and Scarlets. So they'll be looking to that. That's how you get selected to the pathway and to the 18s. So, there's also PDC for selection as well, which a lot of these girls won't be strangers to. So they'd be looking now to that regional for that step up into an international shirt.
So these 2 teams essentially will be combining to make one. Cardiff Quins preparing to receive their runners-up medals. Although it's defeat on the day, we still have to say, and it still is, a success just to get here to the Principality. It's an honour and a privilege to play in the greatest rugby stadium in the world. As the Quins, one by one, get their medals and get their photos taken. And the Quins just had a shot line up as a squad, as a team. It'll still be a memorable day. Not many people get to change in the changing rooms here at the stadium and run out to the light show that we saw an hour and a half ago. It's an experience in itself. And now the Nelson Bells, led by Lily Hawkins, the player of the match winner. Some of these girls have played here 4 or 5 times already. Plenty of experience. They'll be ready to lift the roof off in celebration. Abby Thomas walking through shot with her medal. Callie Perryman there wearing 5, a try scorer. She was impressive in the second row as well. She returned to the field, made a mark. A few of the travelling reserves and squad members also receiving their medals. Isla McMullen, 12, captain. Stepping up to receive the girls' under-18s cup. And the under-18s girls' cup winners, Nelson Bells. Llongyfarchiadau. Many congratulations to Nelson Bells as they turn to the crowd, turn to the fans, their friends, their family. The winners, Nelson Bells.